Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, I am Carmen. I go by Carmi, and I used to make a lot of videos about braces, but since I got them off, I have nothing else to talk about. So what I started talking about, just in the spirit of making videos and posting things, is introversion, because that's something that's very dear to my heart. I'm an introvert, and I very firmly believe in the idea that people should be who they are, and we shouldn't push them to be people that they're not. So introversion is a big deal for me. So today I want to talk about the idea of the term the introvert hangover. If you've never heard of this term, I would definitely suggest you look it up. But essentially, it's the idea of feeling social burnout. You're just tired and exhausted from socializing. And this recently happened to me. And funny enough, the being tired of socializing doesn't have to be just with friends. It can be with family. And for me in this case, it was with family. It was my younger brother's wedding, which was beautiful. I definitely cried. It was beautiful and amazing. But I was definitely tired at the end. And, partially, or not even partially, really most of it, is because I was there being a people pleaser, taking care of other people and making sure everyone was okay. And maybe some other time I will give you the story behind everything. But essentially, I was just really not taking care of my introvert self. And that means I was not giving myself the time alone, the solitude that I really needed. So just to go briefly over the introvert hangover, I want to go over some of the signs that you might be experiencing this phenomenon, if you will. So some of the signs are irritability. You just feel irritated at everything and anyone says and does. Even if it's your most favorite person in the world, you might be like, oh my god, I want to smack them right now. You struggle making decisions. You might just feel very indecisive and not really be in the mood to think about making a decision. You can't think clearly. And just FYI, some of these signs don't necessarily have to, all of them don't have to come up in order for you to feel that introvert hangover. But these are some of the signs that happen, and you can have all of them or a few of them or what have you. Your speech changes. By the way, I should say, I got this information based off of an article on Introvert Dear, because that seems to be the website I refer to the most, because I really like it. So I'll put it down in the description box below, just so you can refer to it if you wish. But I think it's really interesting. So some other signs are physical. You feel physically unwell, like kind of sick maybe, just tired. You're zoning out, you experience anxiety, maybe depression, you're not acting like your normal self, you can't do polite chit-chat, and you have this intense desire to be alone. So those are all signs that you might be experiencing this introvert hangover, just socialization exhaustion. You're just at the point where you're like, oh my gosh, can I just please have a moment alone where I can gather myself and my thoughts and just scream. So I don't want to talk too much about what that is and what that entails unless you feel like you want some more information. And of course, this is all based on my experience and the things that I've read about introversion and the introvert hangover. But what I do want to talk about is some ways to help you get out of that whole feeling. And so what I've done, and I try to remember and remind myself to do when I experience this, is to carve out some time for yourself to just be alone and do the things that you love. And it doesn't have to be like doing active things. Like if you do love going hiking or riding horses or taking a drive, you can do all of those things. But if it means you staying at home by yourself watching TV all day, then so be it. Sometimes that is what you need in order to just kind of recharge, right? So I'll give you an example of what I did today, because I've been certainly experiencing this social exhaustion and introvert hangover. So today, I try to sleep in a little bit. It's a little difficult because my cat loves to wake me up. She wakes me up early so I can feed her and open the door for her. But I try to sleep in a little bit. Then I took my time. I woke up, I made coffee, and I started reading one of my favorite books and just kind of hung out and read my book. Then I took a nice shower. I won't say long because it really wasn't that long, but especially I live in California, so we want to save water. So maybe like a 10-minute shower at most. Just try to like relax and listen to some music in the background. Then I came out and played some music in the living room. That's like some of my favorite music to help me relax and enjoy. And then I decided that I wanted to treat myself to lunch. So I went to one of my favorite restaurants that's really around the corner from my place. And I already knew that I wanted to have kind of like a breakfast meal, a brunch. And I wanted to have a mimosa. If you don't know what a mimosa is, it's essentially orange juice to which you add champagne to. So it's an alcoholic drink. And I was like, oh, I'll just have one and I'll eat and then I'll I'll jot some notes down on what I want to talk about today. So the funny part about being an introvert is that not everybody is comfortable with the idea of you having a meal by yourself. For some reason, it kind of freaks some people out. And so I've been to this place before with my boyfriend and with friends and family in the past, and I think this is my first time going there by myself. So I'm pretty sure that they felt bad for me. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter because they brought me an extra mimosa, so I had 2 mimosas, and they brought me dessert for free. They didn't charge me for any of that. And I thought it was so funny because I was like, I literally just wanted to come here and have a lunch for myself and just write some ideas, and they just treated me to extra drinks and a dessert. So kids, it does pay off to be an introvert. So that was a really cool experience. But after I sobered up and, enjoyed my meal and my dessert, I decided to go to a bookstore. So I will say right off the bat that I'm not much of a reader. I think a lot of introverts tend to be, but I'm not, because I'm more of a visual learner. So it's really hard for me to sit down and read a whole book without getting bored or distracted. The only time I can really read a book is if it really speaks to me. If I'm really interested in the material, then I'll read it. But otherwise, I'm like, oh, this is torture. But I knew that there was a book that I wanted to read. So I went to this bookstore. I got myself my book, which I'm so excited about. Just for funsies, I got myself some bookmarks, which have cats on them because I have a cat. And I was like, this is great. It's perfect for my books, and I love cats, so why not? And lastly, I did get myself a notebook, and I love this because it has all the colors that I love, which are like that rose gold and the pinks and purples, just very feminine, and I love, love, love that. So I got this notebook so I could start writing some of my ideas for videos and maybe any kind of creative outlet that I might have. This will be for that. So I thought it would be really nice. And I lied. That wasn't the last thing. I did get myself a bottle of wine because I am of drinking age, and sometimes I just like to unwind at night with a glass of wine as I eat my dinner and relax. So those are the things I did today to treat myself. And I think it's so important to take that time to relax and enjoy your own company. I think, and I may be overgeneralizing, but from what I've learned, not only for myself but other introverts, is that because we are so private and we only share our lives with very few people, we do have a lot within us that we haven't talked about, we hadn't expressed. Ooh, I guess my cat wants to be part of the video. Hi, baby. So I think it's so important that's the reason why I think we need that time alone in a way, is because we need to kind of release all of that inner chatter, if you will, and we need to talk about the things or to ourselves really, the things that we're thinking about, the things that we want to work on, and how to organize ourselves. Because I know that at least for me, when I'm really overwhelmed, especially with that introvert hangover, my mind is cluttered. And it's just like I can't think straight. I don't know how to do things. I don't know where to start because I'm just so disorganized in my head. So having that alone time, it really, really helps me to kind of get back into a place where I can reorganize myself, reorganize my thoughts, and get productive again. And that's something that not a lot of people understand. They think that we're being lazy, that we're procrastinators, and maybe in some cases we might be. But I personally feel like that's what helps me get back into the rhythm of things and get back into doing the things that I need to do and the things that I love to do. There's so much more that I want to work on and do. And I hope that I can get to. I mean, just today and with this video, I feel like I really do want to start a channel just for introversion and just have that conversation with other introverts, because yes, there's a lot of introversion and those type of things out there in terms of social media, blogs, websites. But I don't know, I feel like making a video and having that chat with other introverts would be really cool, because I know that's something that I wish there was more of out there, that I would like to kind of look up and do, especially because I'm not so much of a reader like other introverts. I'm more of a visual learner, so I would love to see more and hear more of those conversations. So we'll see. That's one of my plans I hope to achieve before the end of the year. So yeah, those are some suggestions I have and examples of how I deal with that introvert hangover and how I make myself feel happy and better again. And you don't have to buy a bunch of crap. That's not what this is. It's just treating yourself to things and bringing yourself back to a place where you are making yourself a priority, because we tend to make everyone else a priority and try to fix everybody else's problems and try to be there for everybody, that sometimes we forget about us. So this is the chance to do that. So I hope that helps. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Otherwise, I will see you when I make my next video. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye.